On where the stock appears to be poised to open this morning, you're going to be overseeing a company that will have roughly a $60 billion market value. Does that make you nervous? Do you feel like you can deliver on that kind of expectation in the marketplace?
I think that the great news is that Lucid's a tech company, and we're bringing the world's best technology to the market this year here in the US. And I think that the valuation is a reflection of our technology. I think that that has been validated and endorsed through the due diligence that Churchill Capital have undertaken. And they're thrilled with the product, everything they've seen. I'm very confident we've got world-class tech. What we need to do now is humbly and diligently execute and get this into production. And that is what will truly drive the value.
Yes, it will. And it is behind some of the numbers that you're putting out there. And let me just share some of them because they're impressive. You are looking for generating as much as $2.885 billion in EBITDA by 2026. So within the next 5 years. What gives you the confidence, Peter, that you can ramp up production and sales, obviously, to the point where you're going to be able to deliver on that kind of a target?
Well, I think we've got an ambitious yet realizable plan. We've shown that we can execute. If you look at the factory that we've built to date, we did that in record time, the first greenfield, purpose-built EV factory in North America. So the team I've got and surrounded myself with are consummate professionals, and we've got the expertise, we've got the track record of delivery. What's really important now, though, particularly over the next few months, is to get our first product into production. That's the great litmus.
Okay, so Peter, you say you're a technology company, and I share that. And on page 37 of your excellent deck that has everything that people should know, leading charging speeds. I happen to think that the differential for many, many people and many, many cars is how quick you can get on the road and how quick you can charge. Give us what you can do versus the other guys.
Absolutely, Jim. I couldn't agree more. It's a huge differential. So here we have a charging speed where we can put 300 miles in the car in around 20 minutes. And we're doing that with ultra high voltage, over 900 volt charging through our partnership with Electrify America. This is next generation technology, and we're doing that with our Wonderbox boost charger. And not only that, we've got two-way charging on board, so we can actually go vehicle to grid. You can run your house off the car.
Well, I also like, as someone who has kids who drive, I see that you have 32 sensors on board, a comprehensive sensor suite. I always ask my kids, how many sensors? Why? Because this is what a parent cares about. This is the most, correct? This is maybe the safest car on the road.
To the best of my knowledge, it's the most comprehensive and beautifully integrated sensor suite for autonomous driving and ADAS. Over 14 cameras, 32 sensors, and we fuse long and short range radar, surround radar with long range, plus a 120-degree solid-state LiDAR in the nose.
So, Peter, one of the things I think our viewers, they're so excited. They wanted a piece. They bought Churchill. When you try to figure out a price, did you say, listen, you know what, we're every bit as good as Tesla, if not better, but we're priced underneath Tesla, so therefore anyone who thinks that this is overpriced as a stock is missing the big point, which is we have more technology, we have faster charging, we got a better car, and we're cheaper than the stock of Tesla?
Well, I think there's a gross misunderstanding on the market, actually, Jim, because actually the price, the acquisition price of Lucid from Churchill was $11.75 billion. That was a snip. It was a great deal for Churchill, but there was a quid pro quo. Churchill brought this incredible array of the bluest of blue chip companies to invest in us, with long-term commitment, with a lockup and a commitment. And those companies provided we were oversubscribed for the pipe. So we actually expanded the pipe, and the pipe sold at $15. And this is unprecedented in the history of SPACs. So this is why I'm so buoyed that so many of these savvy investors, blue chip companies, could see the long-term value potential, and that lies in Lucid's technology.
Yeah, and Peter, I mean, to that point, you did sell 16% of the company to CCIV shareholders. And to your point, the pipe holders will own about 10% at 15, which is 50% more than those who invested originally in the SPAC at 10 have paid. Yes. But that said, you still sold 26% of the company at a discounted value. When I say that, I mention it because you might have just gone public the traditional way. There seemed to be great enthusiasm for your stock and your product. Why did you still choose to go this way?
I think that this has enabled us to secure our future. We've raised over $4.5 billion. This means that we can accelerate our business model and in a secure manner. And this is really important because the whole world needs to move to sustainable mobility with technology. And this means that Lucid can be at the forefront of this new movement. The world cannot wait. This has given us security, commitment from long-term investors, and we've been augmented as a company by the illustrious roster of luminaries that Churchill Capital has assembled, which provides a whole new dynamic and dimension as we grow the business going forward.
Yeah, well, growth is, of course, what everybody's going to be focused on. You say by 2030, you anticipate run rate production of more than 500,000 units. That would represent roughly 4% market share of a 2030 TAM of 15 million overall units. It doesn't appear to be too much of a reach, I guess, in some ways, but at the same time, aren't you going to get significant competition from the likes of high-end automobile makers who move into EV in a very significant way? And here we're thinking, for example, of Porsche and many others, Audi, on and on.
Now, that question has been posed many times over the last decade, and that was the question that was posed of Tesla's run. They haven't come anytime soon. I mean, only last week we learned that Jaguar had cancelled their new XJ electric vehicle program. You know, as far as I'm concerned, we have to take a preeminent position. This is a tech race. And I believe only two companies realize that and recognize that. Tesla recognizes it. That's led to their preeminent position. Lucid recognizes it. We welcome the competition. Bring it on. I can't wait for Mercedes to launch EQS and for that to be head-to-head against Lucid Air. We welcome that competition. Everybody wins. The planet, the customers. You win.
Peter, there's another page in your deck. And again, I'm urging people to understand the deck. Why? Because Churchill, the stock, it may be confusing to people, but Lucid, the company, 19 top execs, 8 went to work from Tesla, 3 from Apple. This is a technology company. What do the Apple people add to the Tesla people to make it so that you've got the technology of the future car?
Well, that's an easy one. The car is a computer on wheels. This is a fusion of art and science and hardware and software. We've got the best of the best. And Lucid's becoming a mecca for talent, for top scientists, designers, and leaders. We've got fusion of Apple executives with Tesla executives. These are the two worlds that make the new modern era of automobiles. It's a computer on wheels, but it's still a car. We're a tech company and a car company.
It's a computer on wheels, but it still needs to plug in somewhere to actually get its energy. I mean, is the infrastructure going to be there, Peter, to support what you need in terms of people being able to find the places they need to charge their cars in the 20 minutes or so that you say it will take?
Absolutely. The infrastructure is already in place. Electricity is everywhere. Most charging is done overnight in one's garage. Level 2, a charger. And with our Wonderbox technology, we can charge the car at nearly 90 miles per hour at home. That's a game changer. That's when most charging is done. And then we've got the great partnership with Electrify America, which is growing exponentially. So we can have this 1,000-volt, up to 350 kilowatt capacity. But it's the 90 miles, nearly 90 miles, in 1 hour at home charging level 2, which I think is a game changer.
Yeah. Back to the balance sheet for a moment. You're going to be free cash flow positive, you say, in 2025 is what I see here.
Yes.
Between now and then, obviously, significant losses. Are you going to need to raise more money beyond the $4.5 billion you currently have on your balance sheet?
Absolutely, because this is a capital-intensive business. Our balance sheet will secure our runway into 2023. We'll have built out phase 2 of the factory that we can get the economy of scale ready for the launch of Project Gravity. We'll have Gravity very close to production. This secures our future for a very long runway. But this is capital intensive, and I'll tell you why. Because there is no substitute for vertical integration. Tesla recognizes this. We cannot outsource or entrust manufacturing to a third party. It is too critical to our very existence. Nor can we entrust the precious relationship with our customers. And so the sales and service network, and I'm here in our Beverly Hills studio this morning. This isn't a virtual background. This is real. And this is the customer experience. We need to invest in these. They're asset heavy. But we can be asset light with our relationship with Electrify America. We don't have the capital burden that Tesla has encountered with rolling out its supercharged network, although I applaud them for doing it.
Peter, David Faber has introduced us to a number of battery companies, including QuantumScape, which has been one of the most exciting companies. And yet here I am looking at Lucid's single-piece brick injection molded battery, and you're talking about the ability to manufacture millions of units? That's a game changer.
Yes. I think it is. It's truly designed for mass production in a way that others haven't. When I look at the current products that are out there, frankly, they look like science projects that have been industrialized. What we've done is create design for manufacturing, and it applies to all our electric powertrain. And what you've seen, the picture you've seen, is a single shot plastic injection molding where all those elements, those electrical contactors, those bus bars, are encapsulated as the plastic flows, and that pops out of the mold. It's a single shot deal. That's revolutionary. That's like a Lego brick.
Peter, soon enough, I think Jim and I and Carl maybe want to get a ride, want to test drive that Lucid Air. And hopefully we'll be able to do that in person with you at some point.
That's a date. I will personally bring one round, and you must drive and experience. Driving is believing.